Hello everyone, I'm your IELTS tutor Jack, and welcome back to another episode of the IELTS Plus English podcast. Today's topic is childhood. So what is the key tense for today? Past tense, of course. This is a big problem for my students. They often mix past and present, so let's focus on the past tense today because we are talking about our childhood. Now don't forget, visit my website www.jax-english.com in order to get the free handout. The free handout has 10 words and phrases and also today's key questions for the topic childhood. This is our 7th episode, so please go and get that from my website. And all of the handouts for the previous episodes as well. It's all still up there. If you are in Korea, you can check out my Naver Cafe, Yongguk Yongo, Jack's English, and it has the same information there. So childhood. Let's get straight into it. Part 1 question, nice and easy. Did you enjoy your childhood? I would say yes, I did enjoy my childhood. It was a free time. When I compare to now, it was very free. So I often went to the beach. I played football with my friends. And there was just not many obligations for me. It was quite a free life. My parents were not too strict, so I could enjoy myself and go outside a lot. Good. Okay, I got one key word in there, strict. So check that out on today's handout. And let's do another part 1 question. What do you miss most about being a child? Well, I would say again that it was the football, as I mentioned before. I really enjoyed going to the park with my friends. We went there so often, even on school nights, so during the week. I think we must have gone to the park 3 or 4 times a week to play football. Really organized football as well. I'd say we were obsessed with playing football and obsessed with playing sport in general. So that's what I most miss about being a child. Okay, let's move on to part 2. I'm preparing my time. There you go. We're all ready to go. As always, no time for me to prepare. It's 2 minutes on the clock, and I'm going to read you today's question. Describe a memorable childhood experience. Okay, so not an easy one, but straight away go to the first thing that comes to your mind. So I'm going to put 2 minutes on the clock, and here we go. I have a lot of memorable childhood experiences, but I am going to choose to talk about my hiking trip to the Lake District. When I was young, I used to love hiking. I was really fond of going up to the national park called the Lake District. I often went there with my father. He would take me there every year, and we would hike for around about a week. That's what I remember, a week to 10 days, staying in youth hostels, going from youth hostel to youth hostel, and it was a really wonderful experience. But the one that comes to my mind specifically is when I went with my sister. At that time I could drive, so I planned the whole hiking holiday, which was around a week, and I drove 7 or 8 hours. That's how long it took to get to the national park, and we spent the week following my route that I had planned before. Let me tell you a little more about this holiday. As I said, I had planned it before. I really enjoyed planning hiking trips, getting the maps and finding the trails. And we stayed in youth hostels, same as I always did, and it was wonderful. We had to sleep separately because of, girls and boys' dormitories. So that was a little bit difficult because my sister was young, but we just stayed in the same youth hostel, just one. We came back and ate in the pubs at night or ate at the nearby restaurant, And overall, it was just a wonderful week together in the Lake District. It was probably one of my... Oh, that is very quick. That surprised me. Something you may have noticed is in the earlier episodes, I would glance at the time. But I realize that's unfair. You don't get to do that in the exam, so I'm trying not to glance at the time. Of course, this is okay. You don't need to finish your answer. The important thing is you speak until 2 minutes. As you may have heard today, I didn't even get on to my opinion part. I always like to talk about my opinion and then the future. So that's fine. I told my story completely. I was very happy with it. By the way, when I read that question, I had nothing in my mind. So literally just at the last moment, it popped up. I could talk about the Lake District. And I was quite happy with my answer. So I hope you enjoyed that. Again, it was a true story. Sometimes I lie, but that was true. Part 3. What do you want to provide for your children that you didn't have when you were growing up? Oh, this is a deep question. Okay. And it's something I think about because I do have a daughter now. So let me try and answer. I hope to provide a very open and supportive environment for my daughter. Now, I'm not saying I didn't have that from my parents, but particularly my father was very authoritarian. So I don't think I would be quite that way. I think I would be less strict and have a little bit more open communication. So that's something that I often think about with my daughter. But as I said, I had a great upbringing and there was no problem with it. Just I think when it comes to communication, I will approach it differently to my parents. Good. Okay. One more part 3. Do you think childhood passions can be pursued as a career in life? This is another really interesting one for me, actually, because this is almost a regret in some ways. When I was young, I was obsessed with the weather. It sounds very strange, but I really loved studying the weather, looking at the weather, observing different weather types out of my window. And I think it would have been very wise to pursue that as a career. It never came to my mind. I never even thought of using that passion in my career. So one thing that comes to my mind is that when a child has a passion, we should at least show them how they can pursue that in their career, how they can use it in their later life. Okay, some very deep and honest answers today. I hope you enjoyed it. I quite liked talking about childhood. I used probably only half of the key vocabulary and expressions, and that's worth mentioning actually. Only study, only learn and practice the words that you really connect to. If you're not a spontaneous person, if you're not going to talk about spontaneity, you don't need to learn it. If you are or were gifted, then you do need to learn it and you need to practice it in your answers. So be picky. Don't learn everything. Be picky with what you use in your speaking. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Just a quick reminder, www.jax-english.com is where you have to go. That's where you get all of the free materials. Obviously, if you're watching on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate that. That really helps my channel grow. And thank you for listening and thank you for watching. I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.